Alright, here's a quick video on RV life and some of the things that we have found to make it easier to live with. This is temporary while we are having our house built. Could be 3 to 6 months. We've got a few of these 330 gallon IBC totes. They are full of fresh water. And then a fourth one here is we use for black water, and I'll show you that in a minute. When we fill the fresh water, we add a little bit of this here pool shock, which is chlorine, and it helps keep the water from growing anything in it and keeps it clean. We've got a banjo fitting to a I think it's a 1 1/4 inch drainage hose that we run the tote out of and into a used pool pump. So it comes out the hose, goes into the pool pump, and this plumbing was on here from the last pool that it was used at, but it runs out and into the fill reservoir on the side of the camper. We currently have it going into the freshwater fill right here. I got it covered with a rubber inner tube to make it fit a little better, but it just goes in there, and I just leave it in there, and I turn it on every night when I come home from work, and I refill the tank, make sure that it's topped up and full of fresh water. We're working on getting our city water up here, and when we do, we'll hook to this. I did consider getting an on-demand pump and connecting the totes into this right here, and so we would always have water constantly on an on-demand pump. But I just haven't done that, and now it looks like our fresh water is going to be here real soon. We have a drainage ditch that runs along here, under the driveway, along here, all the way down beyond those trees to the main runoff water, to the main stormwater ditch down there. So our gray water, we actually just have coming out of this hose and running into this gravel here, and then it goes down the ditch, which it never makes it down to the end. It gets absorbed before it makes it down to the main ditch. And you can see here we've got one of these caps off of Amazon for a garden hose, and that is the garden hose you see going into the ditch. Now we have 3 tanks on here. We've got a black water, a gray water, and another gray water, and we just keep these 2 gray waters open. That's our shower and our sink, and that water just flows down into the ditch and filters through the gravel and soaks into the ground. The black water, on the other hand, we have a whole different process for, and about once a week I use this pump right here, and I close all of these valves, and then I connect this pump, which is a Macerator Pump. The process is surprisingly clean. It's got blades and a little turbine in there, and it runs from 12 volts, and it sucks all of the black water out of the holding tank, and I use another hose. The white line is our fresh water going into the pump for washing it out, but then I have a separate hose for sewer that I use only for sewer. And I pump the sewer right on into this here tote, which has about 100 gallons in it now. And it'll hold 330 gallons. I just drop the hose into the top and fill it up. And when it starts to get full, I will call a sanitary company who charges $92 to come out, and they remove about 300 gallons right out of that same banjo fitting, which is really convenient. Alright, I have this porch. It's a 8 by 14 porch, rigid, hard panels covered in green grass. You'd have to get your own panels, because these I got from a special aerospace company, and I can't get any more of them. And this out here is our outdoor kitchen. We got it under the awning. It's really nice to have. We've got a 10 by 10 screen tent that's going to go here to add a screened in area. We've got our chickens. We've got 4 chickens over here in this little fenced-in area. And I've got a chicken cage or chicken prison I made from an IBC tote. And it's got this board here lifted up. And you can see when you get eggs. We usually get, you know, at least 3 eggs a day, 3-4 eggs a day from those little chickens. When we moved out of the other house, we had so much stuff. We actually got a couple of these Harbor Freight carports. And wow, what a great help it's been for storing junk that didn't fit in the other one. We also have our fridge in here and food stocks, and then we've got our washer and dryer in here. The dryer actually runs off propane. It's converted to propane, which makes it nice. It works really well on this system, but the washer, obviously it's kind of hard to fill with water, so we actually take our laundry to the laundromat until we get our city water connected. We did try to run the water with a pump, but it was just, the pump got hot, you know, leaving it for 45 minutes while the washer was running, so we prefer not to go that route. Alright, coming on in. I didn't clean up for this video. We have a family of 5 living in this bunkhouse, and so we've got our island kitchen here, and got our kitchen table. So it's me and my wife and our 9-month-old son, and then we have our in-laws who live here as well, and they have the back bedroom, and my wife and I have the front bedroom, and we all get along pretty good. I installed this cool fireplace here. You can see that it's pretty neat. It's got backlighting, and it actually puts out heat if you want it to. We find that we don't use the heat too much, but it's pretty cool that it fits in there. Okay, let's go on to the bathroom, because there's a couple of things in here that I would say we've changed that are really, really helpful. And we're not done in here. We actually had to move in before we were done remodeling, and the wife is still working on that cabinet area. But one thing that we added is this corner post shelf. That thing has been very helpful. If I can get far enough away from it to even get it in the picture. But you can see it goes down behind the toilet, and it's got 3 little shelves, and that thing is, yeah, really been helpful to have. Another thing that we have done is we added this hook over the top of the shower. You can see for our towels, and that's nice because you need a place to hang your towels. And we added a toilet paper holder within reach of the toilet. It seems to stay dry. Now we'll in the shower here, I'll show you my shower head. We got one of these low flow shower heads that you can turn on or off, which really helps because once you get the temperature right in this camper, you don't want to keep messing with these knobs over here. You want to keep it where you had it. And then I got this this bar, I forget what it's called, extension, but it really is nice because it keeps the shower head up high. And relatively, it's an easy fix to get the shower head up high, basically up into the skylight, without any serious modifications. And this all fit. I just had to get a little piece of pipe to go in there, a short 1-inch pipe, and it all just fit together, and it works well, and it saves a lot of water, and it's got plenty of pressure. In fact, let's go ahead and show you how much pressure we got. Turn the shower on, hot water on, cold water on. You can see got plenty, and that's just the pump in the camper. There's nothing special, and I think this is like a 1.5 gallon per minute head, maybe, or 1 gallon. It doesn't use very much water. Oh, one more thing we changed. We added white paint. As you can see, my wife painted all the brown cabinets white to brighten it up in here, and it really made a difference. And I changed the light fixtures. I put in some low profile 8-inch light fixtures. You turn in the switch over here, the ceiling lights. Oh, And the switch is going out here. Put in the ceiling lights, and yeah, these fixtures work really well. And here's the old fixtures that were in here, and they get really hot and they produce not as much light. Something to keep in mind, some of these fixtures do not have on and off buttons on them. They just have a red and a black wire. You wire them in and you have to have a switch to turn them on. But some of these have a button on them where you can turn them on and off. And this one doesn't have a switch anywhere else. So it's got blue, it's got the white, and then you hold it, press and hold, and it will go dim and then bright again. So that's kind of cool. We got little kids that play over here. So one of our old foster kids, Claire, is always coming over, and so this is for her to play with when she's here. She likes it. And right over there, past my father-in-law's car, is where we're building the house. The house is going to go there. And they should be starting the foundation next week. And they say 3 to 6 months for the house to be finished. We're really betting and hoping on 3. I got my van over there, and that's where the other Harbor Freight tent, and we also got a 24-foot box from a truck. I found that on Craigslist, and that is a great storage for tools and equipment and things. And yeah, we got a really nice piece of property here. One of our favorite things to do is have a campfire. You see the chairs in a circle from the last campfire, and we got an old truck rim, a big rig rim. Makes a great fire pit. And then some of the trees we cleared from the land a few months ago, we're burning those up little by little. Speaking of trees, we had a couple of big redwood trees, and I made a deal with a guy that had a mill in his backyard. He gets a tree and I get a tree. I cut it down, he picked it up, he milled it into lumber. And so this is a stack of redwood, 10 feet long, maybe a few inches longer. And then I took and cut it down to a 5-foot tall fence, which I'm going to mount later when I'm done milling all the wood. But it'll be a batten board. So you've got a board and a batten over each crack and a board. And that worked out really well. I didn't waste much wood when I was milling it, because there was a lot of pieces that couldn't make a whole board, but they could make a batten or two. Okay, we also have a couple of stumps here. As you can see, I think my phone's about to die, but these are the stumps from the redwood trees. And there's some brush and stuff from the trees down there.